We all know who Henry is, the creator of most of the animatronics, except the fun times, and he always plays an important role to the story in both the games and the Silver Eyes trilogy. In short, we all know him as Henry Emily. But wait, Emily? Seriously, is that really a surname? And yes it is, believe it or not, but it's a name that originates as far back as the Anglo-Saxon tribes of Britain. The name derives from the Old English word Amalric, which referred to someone who held great power. This meaning, however, doesn't seem to fit with Henry as a character. Yes, he created the animatronics, but that doesn't mean that he held power over them, nor the souls possessing the animatronics. This name seems rather more important and perfectly lines up with William Afton himself, Henry's business partner. We know from the Silver Eyes that William was the owner of the restaurant and that Henry was the engineer creating the main attractions. And why do I put the name meaning of Emily in such an important way, you might ask? Well, as mentioned in previous theories like David Afton's name meaning, we know that their name lines up perfectly with their personalities and character arcs. Let's bring them up. Michael means who is like God, implying that he resembles his father a lot, as we can hear from Sister Location.
Father. It's me, Michael. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you.
Mike looks like his father, who is the type of god in FNAF, the god who can create life with animatronics. David means beloved, which explains how he is deeply beloved by his father William later on, as he promises to put him back together. Elizabeth means God's promise, which describes Elizabeth as a promise to her dad, the god that she will make proud.
I will make you proud, Daddy.
She will make sure that the god will be proud of her. William means strong-willed warrior, resolute protector, as he wants to both protect his children and is a man that has an iron will to live. In short, their name meanings seems extremely important, but this only seems to be pointing to the first name, right? Their last name, Afton, doesn't seem to have any importance, as it is just a common British surname. If you wonder, the name originates from Scotland, meaning Scottish river, which doesn't seem to suggest anything important. Other origins, such as the Swedish word afton, only translates to afternoon or evening, so nothing there either. If the surnames aren't important, then maybe Emily doesn't have to mean anything either, right? I am not sure if all the characters' names in the whole franchise seem to have important meanings, because otherwise it would be pretty rough. But if we look at the name Henry, it originates from Germany, meaning house ruler. So yeah, it seems like Henry has no important name to the lore anyway. But if we start to look across the franchise, you will actually notice that no one from both Scott or Steelwool has officially confirmed Henry's last name, only the first name. The only explanation for the surname Emily comes from a scene at the end of the Fourth Closet novel. Henry has a daughter named Charlie, and at the end of the novel we can see her gravestone reading Charlotte Emily. A lot of people assumed that this was her surname, and therefore naming her father Henry Emily. But wait, have we really been given a proper name from any other gravestone in FNAF? Well, no. You see, in FNAF 6, once we receive the Lorekeeper ending, we can see all gravestones only with their first names given, and if this is the case, I believe that Charlotte Emily is Charlotte's first name, and that Emily is her middle name. One interesting detail that I got while watching MatPest's first FNAF movie theory was that Henry's surname might actually be Schmidt. From a narrative standpoint, it feels more satisfying. Henry Schmidt rather than Emily, and it isn't the first time that we have heard the name Schmidt. Of course, in the FNAF movie, William and Mike aren't related, and instead, it has been theorized that Mike is the son of the movie's counterpart of Henry, Henry Schmidt. One fact that really interested me is the name origin of Schmidt. The surname Schmidt originates from Germany, just like Henry, and Schmidt means blacksmith and or metal worker. This is where I began to look more into it. I don't say that Henry himself has a German origin, but the name meaning feels very strongly connected to Henry's character. Henry is the metal worker in this world who created the animatronics, and this would perfectly fit with his name. But as I mentioned earlier, I said that only the first names from the Aftons seems to have a strong name meaning, while the surnames are not. But honestly, if the first name of Henry doesn't seem like anything, then the other must. I'm not entirely sure if Schmidt is the real surname, but I am actually not fully convinced that his last name is Emily either. Seriously, they have never mentioned him like that. Compare that to Afton, where they almost every time refer him by his full name, while Henry is just Henry. Henry who? Well, guess we'll never know.
Now, I understand that it can be weird for Mike to use Henry's surname, but in the end, Schmidt is kind of a common surname in America, and also there's another name that is slightly different than Schmidt, and that is actually Smith. It also translates to blacksmith. But in the end, there is another character with the surname Smith, that is Fritz Smith. Once again, it feels a bit odd for Michael to use Henry's surname, but both Schmidt and Smith are actually pretty common surnames in America. Some of these ones, I suppose.
Anyways, share this video if you want, like it, and if even better, subscribe. But that's it for me. Thanks for listening.